Welcome to Brain Wreck. I'm Jason Axe.
And I'm Kevin Graham.
And this is the best show on the internet.
Folks, we're back.
Woo!
All about it.
Back in the studio.
It's been a moment again. I feel like lately it's just been, time has just been flying.
Why
know?
you punish me?
What?
What? That's my hootie.
Oh, I was like, are you getting like real existential right now? Like, we having a moment where
Nah, it's just
like, do we need to talk about some stuff?
Just quoting the Blowfish.
Just quoting the Blowfish. My brother just went and saw the Blowfish.
You know, they put on a hell of a show.
Still?
I mean, I don't know. It's been 2 decades?
2 decades?
Fuck me. Oh, I don't like that.
2004?
Yeah. So Hootie opened for the Counting Crows. That was a show.
I think that was like a even at that time that would have been like a nostalgia.
It was like
even back 2004. Yeah. Like 2004, the Blowfish were still just like, hey, remember that song from the 90s?
Well, he was just getting off his solo run. You know, he like the country thing didn't necessarily work out for him.
No, it did.
Well, I mean, he's back with the Blowfish.
Well, I mean,
he's back with the Blowfish. He ain't Timberlaking.
Got to get that 90s money.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody's coming back around. Jane's Addiction just came back around, and then they just stopped again, like immediately. Did you hear about that?
No,
but Harry Farrell punched Dave Navarro in the face, like on stage in the middle of a song.
Oh, good God.
It's just like, well, that was quick.
The thing is, like, when it comes to that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's a mental health issue, right?
I mean, like that's a mental health issue. That is an issue of like prolonged drug use.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Because when you're giving up that amount of money because somebody irritated you, like that's anger issues right there.
Yeah.
Because like
there's the things you got.
I'll put up with a lot of shit for $1 million.
Yeah.
Like
you could punch me in the face, and if I was making $1 million, I'd keep touring.
What? Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Someone comes up to you on the street.
Yeah.
Says, "Let me punch you in the face."
Okay.
What's the price? Where you say, "Okay."
I guess like, what are the factors?
Okay, I'm gonna put
is this anybody? Is this like full force?
This is a
okay.
This is a YouTube star who's trying to get views, so they're going around asking people. It's like a Mr. Beast segment,
dude. I was literally reading about this kind of shit earlier today.
Oh, this is a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, in a way,
it's not like the fucker who goes and says like, "I'm going to mow your lawn for free."
No, not that guy. I'm talking about like there are like that. I guess you could call them content creators. I think they're just little annoying shits. But like their whole shtick is like they go around and they prank people. And then before the person goes to beat their ass, like their bodyguards jump in and they're like, no, it's just a prank. Meanwhile, like this kid got away with like some fucking shit
with like assault,
like assault or like, you know, just putting hands on somebody. You know, like I don't like there's these like prank things where like, you know, some dude will be like going down an escalator, then like as he's passing a couple, he'll just like touch one of them. And like sometimes they get grabbed, other times like again, like the bodyguards come swarming in. They're like, no, you can't touch him. It was a prank.
It's very, you know, it's very Barry Bonds of them.
Barry Bonds?
Yeah.
What the fuck's Barry Bonds got to do with this?
Listen, if you're going to crowd the plate, you got to get rid of the elbow pad.
Look at him. He's been gone for a week and he's back, folks. Look at that. Look at that. Just when you don't think you know where he's going with it, it's right there.
That's right.
Okay, so like what is the situation?
All right, so the situation, right. So fucking Mr. Beast comes up to you.
Okay.
And he says, "I'm gonna punch you in the face as hard as I can.
Okay.
We're gonna have a crash pad for you to land. So like you can't like hit your head on a hydrant.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And this only works when it's a fucking YouTube fuck.
Sure.
to pull this shit off.
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's your price?"
If it's Mr. Beast,
If it's Mr. Beast.
I want $1 million.
Okay. What if it's somebody that you haven't heard of, but they have a very
Yeah.
impressive camera and crew?
I mean, again, like, what are the factors? Because, like, here's the thing. I don't think Mr. Beast could throw a punch worth a damn. So, like,
Jimmy ain't got shit.
And I know he's got the money. Well, I mean, like, with the amount of times he's getting sued right now, he might not for much longer.
Oh, ayo.
Like, because for me, I'm like, I'm getting paid. Like, if Jimmy's coming up to me and is like, what would it take for money for me to be able to punch you as hard as I can? I'd be like, oh, I want it all. Because, like, number one, it's not going to hurt. Number two, I mean, like, I'd even take, like, 10 grand if you wanted to do that. Because I'm like, I'm walking away with, like, maybe a red mark at most.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay. What if it's somebody who's famous, but has no money?
I know has no money?
Like Wesley Snipes when he got out of jail. Like, has no money.
I'm pretty sure he still had money. I mean, like...
Leif Garrett comes up to you. He's got no money. But he's got fame. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Fucking pulls Leif Garrett out of his ass.
It's a perfect fit.
God, you want to watch a fucking depressing hour of television?
Leif Garrett comes up to you. He's got a whole crew. He's got a crash pad. He says, "I'm going to punch you in the face."
I feel like Leif Garrett would come up to me and it would be like, "How much money would you give me if I let you punch me in the face?"
That probably would be the case.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's trying to turn it around a little bit.
He's trying to turn around a little bit.
He's trying to turn around a little bit.
I mean,
I'm a tough guy attitude.
I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to. Like, that's too much for me. That's a situation that I don't want to be in.
If you're in a situation where Leif Garrett comes up to you with a camera crew and a crash pad,
I'm running. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what's going on.
Rod Sterling's around the corner. He's about to read a monologue. Like, we're in the fucking Twilight Zone.
I'm like, did I take a mushroom? What the fuck is happening right now? Fucking Leif Garrett's popping out of the corner, and then Rod Sterling's just hiding in the doorway. Like, fuck.
Fucking A. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
I don't know. You were asking me, like, how much it would take for somebody to punch me in the face for, because we were talking about the 90s, and all those dudes. Torn and shit. You lost. See,
I don't know.
Thing. Like, we've either got to keep going down the track,
right?
Or we got to cut to something.
I think we got to cut to something else. I'm off it. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is debate season, folks.
Oh,
there's a lot of discussions and debates going on out there in the world today. November's just around the corner. If you don't know,
can I stop you there just for 1 second?
Sure.
Because I want to talk about a realization.
Okay.
I had the other day. At the beginning of this year, we said,
yeah,
folks, go back and watch. We fucking called this shit.
What do we call?
We said at the beginning of this year, it is an election year. So you don't know what the fuck is going to happen.
Oh, it's gotten weird.
Oh, has it gotten weird?
Oh, it's gotten weird. It is crazy out there.
There's been assassination attempts. There's been people eating pets. There's been all sorts of wackiness.
Did you hear what that fucker said the other day on CNN? Did you hear what he said?
No.
He goes, we have to make up stories to draw attention to our policies. And then the woman on CNN goes, wait. You just said you had to create the story? And he's like, yeah, we had to create a story, as in break the story to draw attention to the greater issue.
For fuck's sake.
He's like, but you created the story. Well, we created the story out of the information that we had. And she was like, but the governor, the mayor, the police, local business owners, they all say that's not happening. Well, I heard one person say that it was. The best was, okay, we're going to, like, I need like 2 seconds. The best was, I think it was like yesterday. somebody at like a presser or something he was doing was like, the woman who came out and started the meme said it was fake, something along the lines of, do you are you going to hold yourself accountable or that sort of thing? Because like this person, like the media had already gone out and done their due diligence and fact checked it.
Okay.
And he was like, well, maybe it's the media's job to fact check this stuff and not mine. Or like something to that effect. I was just like, we are doomed if this happens. We're fucked. We're so fucked. But I'm hopeful.
He's hopeful.
I'm hopeful, folks.
Okay. Sometimes, you got to know when to hold them. And you got to know when to fold them. And sometimes you just need to know when to walk away. And that's what I did with the real world a long time ago. I just walked away.
You're just walking away.
I'm just walking away.
Yes, Ryan Bergman, JD Vance was dumb enough to tell people to try to shoot him.
Oh, don't do that.
He did that.
Like, don't do that. Like, that's
he did.
That's like them. That's like Meatloaf, who is like, I'm not getting the shot, and then fucking ends up dying of COVID.
Is that how he did?
Fuck yeah, it did.
Was it?
It was a big batch irony. Got him.
Jesus. I think that happened to a lot of people, unfortunately. Anyways, did you have anything else before we get into the topic of the night?
All I will say.
What do you want to say?
All I will say is I've been gone.
Yeah.
For a week. I was in the woods.
You're in the woods.
So I've been gone for a week.
You have been a lot lately.
I've been gone a lot.
You've been gone a lot.
Since July.
Yeah.
Life has been a runaway train.
Brother.
Where there is no, like, I've got that fucking, that was the dead man's break thing, whatever.
It's dead man's break.
Yeah, on the train. You know what I'm talking about?
No. I seldomly know what you're talking about.
Well, there's this thing on the train where, like, if the guy pulls it, stops the whole train.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a thing where, like, you can't fall, like, you're supposed to hold it, and if you fall asleep, you let go of it and the train stops. That's like the idea behind it. You have no idea what I'm talking about?
I don't work on a train. I don't
actually know if that's the mechanical reason for it, but I know it exists. I know it exists because
did one person tell you it existed?
Well, no, because like I took a class, community college.
Yes.
Where it said that, it was trying to explain rigor mortis.
What the fuck are you talking about? You went from goddamn trains to dead man switches.
Hold on.
And now okay. Oh, this is going somewhere. This is Barry Bonds' elbow all over again.
Which was a great reference. They're trying to explain that, when the train drivers that have the fucking break and die and they get the rigor mortis, like they have to get buried with the handle because they can't pry it away from the fucking the fingers. Yeah, see, fucking Bergman knows what I'm talking about. Dead man switch.
I'm looking this up on Google right now.
Sure.
Dead man switch trains.
Type in rigor mortis.
Okay. Many dead man switches are mounted in the control handle of a vehicle or machine and engage if the operator ever loses their grip. Vehicles. Handle switches are still used on modern trams and trains. Or I'm just gonna put this.
We're going on this journey.
I'm going to. What is the dead man? Okay, hang on, wait. Dead man switch. Yes. Okay, so the dead man switch is a switch that is designed to be activated or deactivated if the human operator becomes incapacitated, such as through death, loss of consciousness, or being bodily removed from control. Originally applied to switches on vehicles or machines, has since become used to describe other intangible uses, as in computer software. I don't necessarily see anything about rigor mortis specifically, so I mean, I can't discredit you. So I guess the only source of information I have is you. So,
and that's a fact, folks.
that is a I believe they call those alternative facts. You know,
I don't know. Bergman peer reviewed it, so like that's good enough for me.
Yeah, he's well credited.
He's well credited. He's got credentials.
He's
and we went through all that for me to say like life's been a runaway train. Like that was the analogy that we went fucking down. But yeah, like I've been in the woods, I've been out of the loop. I have no idea what's going on. I'm still trying to catch up on emails.
Eventually, do you ever get to the point when you're like trying to catch up on emails where you're like, you know what, like this is past a certain point, like this chain of emails is past a certain point, to where I'm just not going to bother. Yeah. Like those just get pushed, and if anybody asks why I didn't respond, I'd be like, well, I've been in the woods for a week.
I've been in the woods. The server blocked it.
The server blocked it.
That's my favorite excuse. Like, oh, the server must have blocked it. I don't know.
It's kind of why like I don't answer phone calls from numbers I don't know, because I'm always just like, if it's important, they'll leave a message. And usually when they do, it's not important.
Nope.
So like at that point, I have no reason to really talk to anybody I do not know.
Nobody does anymore.
Hey, like, is that a bad thing?
It is, like, it is for the kids. All right.
Kids.
Yeah, because like I see it in my son. Like he was supposed to be in kindergarten when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Which is like when you're developing all them fucking social skills and shit.
Yeah.
And there's kids in his grade have struggles. With social cues and communications and shit like that. And it leads to some awkward situations sometimes where like they don't know like sometimes to come up and just say like hi or introduce themselves or anything like that. They'll just like go at you. And you're like, I don't know who you are or who you belong to, but you're not mine. So like,
it's like, can you you shouldn't be talking to me right now, right?
Right. Let's move along.
Okay.
So anyway, yes. Continue on whatever you were gonna do.
Thanks for the fucking dead man cut. Holy shit. Well, I figured since we are in debate season,
that's right,
and there's a lot of feuding going on. The one thing that really pulls the numbers around here is the pro wrestling content.
That's right.
So I figured we could use this time to discuss some of the wild and wackiest feuds throughout the entire span of what we know as pro wrestling.
I enjoy this. This is wonderful.
We can talk about some of the stuff going on today. We can talk about some of the stuff that was going on before. And it doesn't even need to necessarily be just like, oh, this person versus this person. Like we could talk about, like company versus company, territory versus territory, network versus network, Vince McMahon versus the U.S. judicial system. Like, a lot of different stuff like that.
So many things.
So many things. There's so many things to talk about.
John Cena versus a committed relationship.
I mean, I think that was like me for a handful of years. It's going well now. I'm happy to report.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, let's start off this way. Are there any feuds in pro wrestling that you look at and you go, you know what? That is like one of the best feuds?
Yes.
Or something that really stands out to you?
I think I will go on record. It's not much of a record because I think it's pretty much common knowledge.
Yeah.
The greatest wrestling feud of all time. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Two dudes that can actually fucking work. Two dudes that could actually fucking cut promos. Who legitimately hated each other.
Yeah.
Don't get any better.
I think, and that's the thing too, is the matches they were having
Mm.
should not have been as good as they were, considering all of the drama backstage.
Right?
Like, I feel like today, if that shit were to happen,
Mhm.
they would be on separate brands. They
Oh,
would be pulled
totally.
apart. You know, they
HR would be
HR
involved.
would be involved. There would be a suspension.
Mhm.
They'd be motherfucking each other behind everybody's back. But like, you have two of the best who have ever done it,
Mhm.
putting on some of the best fucking matches. Like, again, the fact, like, you know, like people talk about like the potato wings during like the Iron Man match. I think that I think their hatred for one another made their matches better.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm of both of their egos
Mm-hmm.
working against each other for the greater good of everyone else.
For the greater good of everyone else, because brother, like, people were buying into that.
Fucking A.
Like, their feud was hot. I mean, business didn't necessarily like it was weird because it was in this period of business being down
Mhm.
and business like just starting to pick back up. Like
Yeah.
they're really sort of like in that central period.
And it says a lot. It's, that Iron Man match will be one of the greatest matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
When you can captivate a 7-year-old for an hour, which was
Dude.
me,
Yeah.
that says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the the thing is, like, you take away the Montreal screw job, right? You take that away.
Yeah.
It's still one of the greatest feuds ever.
Sure.
But without it, that happening and being such a huge part of wrestling lore
Mm-hmm.
and knowledge only will, that it will live in infamy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
why, they can't, Bret Hart just came back on Raw,
Yeah.
The other week, and he's trying to do the Goldberg thing.
Dude,
I think it's a work, guys. I
what,
think
the
it's a work.
Goldberg thing?
Oh yeah, okay.
Listen,
You don't go on fucking national goddamn television and bring up Bill Goldberg to Bret Hart without WrestleMania plans being involved. I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying.
the fucking audacity. Like, when I watched that segment, I was just like, God damn, that's good shit.
It's good shit.
Like, and here's the thing. It's like, okay. Out of everybody who's bitter, Bret Hart has the right to be bitter. Like, a lot of bad shit has happened to him over the years. I mean, like, even just like from the perspective of his family. I mean,
Sure.
dude lost a lot of siblings. Like, the family went through some trouble and in turmoil. And at the end of the day, yeah, like, his professional wrestling career was cut short. He went to WCW, which fucking fumbled the ball on him incredibly.
Right.
Like, he still went out there and he won like every title that basically he was able to win. But at the same time, it's like, you have Bret fucking Hart.
Yep.
And you're doing like the dumbest shit. Unfortunately, he came in at a time when like WCW was like at the top of the hill and then just on that roller coaster down. Like they were on their way down from that point on. But I mean, it's still great that his legacy will always be the WWE. But I mean, like, at some point you have to let the Bill Goldberg stuff go. You know what I mean? But like, at the same time, I could understand him being a little bit bitter because he was definitely the type of person who seemed like he took himself very seriously. He took his craft very seriously. He was one of the best because he took it as seriously as he did. But at the same time, like, you got to get over that a little bit. And by that, I mean, like, the seriousness, not getting kicked in the fucking head and having a stroke. Like, that's,
it's not great.
It's not, that's not great,
Right.
It's very unfortunate for him. But I mean, like, something tells me that, and I'm going to name drop right now. One of the things that Jim Duggan told me when I was driving.
Okay.
He's like, we go out. He goes, we go out and we do these shoot interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, you got to ruffle the feathers a little bit because that's what the people want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, like it's pro wrestling.
Right.
More than likely, it's a work.
Totally.
It's a little embellishment. Like, yeah, Bret Hart is gonna work the ankle against Bill Goldberg for fucking ever because, like, yeah,
because the
what,
Sean shit's dead.
because
That's
the
why.
Sean shit's dead. You know, like,
And the thing, first off, Bret Hart may be the only in the history of the world.
Mhm.
Bret Hart may be the only grumpy Canadian.
oh yeah.
Like he's the only one that's not going to give you a good day. You know.
But I mean, like, he also seems like the type of person who's like, you know, he's got the hockey team, he's got his bar,
Mhm.
he's the man who enjoys his smoke. You
Sure.
know, he's a man who just, you know, loves his family. Like,
I mean, now.
You know, I mean, it takes everybody a little bit to get going. But he seems like he's at a point in his life where, like, maybe he's, you know, he's just like, I'm just, you know, he's Bret fucking Hart.
It's Bret
you know?
fucking Hart. Yeah.
Bret fucking Hart. He could be miserable. He could be grumpy.
Yeah. I mean,
Hart.
sure.
Like people were trying to like give him shit on Monday night for like looking a little bit disheveled and kind of like looking like he didn't know where he was. I'm like, it's Bret Hart.
Yeah.
That's how he is. That's just who he is.
It's kind of how he's always been.
It's kind of how he's always been.
Like
he's always been a little bit awkward.
He's always been like your Uncle Brett who's seen some shit and like it kind of doesn't care anymore.
He's kind of like that. Yeah, he's like that uncle who kind of like hangs back, like he's at all the parties, but he just kind of sits there like nodding his head. Like he'll chime in every now and then, but he's just kind of like, you know.
And as
like,
a kid, he's the uncle where like you're happy that there's a get together or whatever, and you're running around, and then like you're running in the backyard and you look over and like, oh, there's Uncle Brett, and like that's all you ever see. That's it. Like, oh, you acknowledge that he showed up, but he's not on the forefront of your mind,
right?
And when he's gone, you're like, oh, he must have left.
Yeah,
and that's it.
You know, it was good to see him at least.
Yeah, he showed up. Yeah. It's nice making an appearance.
But yeah, I think Sean and Brett definitely top tier. I feel like as good as the feud that Brett had with Austin, it wasn't long enough.
I thought his feud with Savio was better.
Austin's?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really helped kick off like
Savio Vega.
Gold.
Can we talk
Savio
about
Vega? Like
hell of a worker, hell of a hand.
I mean, yeah, like you can't deny that, I suppose.
Everybody loves him too.
It
says something about a guy.
What was that? did you just like flip your pen?
Yeah. It says something about a guy.
Yeah.
Who knows some shit about the murder of Bruiser Brody, and everyone loves him. Just saying, it says a lot.
I mean,
you know something.
Did I ever tell you about the time Freddie was fucking yelling at me in a locker room because of that shit, because of the Bruiser Brody murder?
No,
because like I don't know how it came up, but like
he wasn't there.
No.
Okay,
it was because of a different reason, which I'll get to.
Okay,
like we were like somehow Bruiser Brody came up, and then like I started talking about like, you know, the situation and the story behind it, but like I was being very loud, and Freddie is just like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, why? He's like, and then like I just kept going. And he's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, why? He's like, because Carlito is over there and his family was like in the company at the time. And I'm like, oh. I mean, it was still fucked up what happened.
Yeah, like I mean,
you know?
facts are facts.
Facts are facts.
You know. That's true. Yeah, that's that's a foot and mouth situation.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I don't think he heard anything.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. Hey, actually, when I drove him around, he was like super cool.
I mean,
I got pulled over with him in the car because Josh decided to fly him into Rochester, and I was like, I got to make sure we get to fucking Auburn. And I got pulled over for speeding.
Did you get a ticket?
Yeah.
Did you have to pay it?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Josh didn't like. Yeah.
He did, but like they were still like, you got to pay. I was like, okay. The best part about it was cop rolls up. He's like, aren't you a wrestler? He's like, oh yeah. He goes, oh okay, yeah. I think I've seen you on TV before. All right, so here's your ticket. Fuck.
Not that big of a fan.
Chris Hero got me out of a ticket once. Ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah. We were coming back from the Amsterdam show.
Okay.
It was me, him, Rich Swan, and literally, there's like the intersection and then the hotel.
Okay.
I didn't realize. I mean, it was like 2 a.m,
Sure.
and
Right.
I had rolled the stop sign,
Mm.
and then the cop pulled me over as I'm pulling into the hotel,
Okay.
and then like the cop comes, he's like, "You know, you ran a stop sign." I was like, "I did." He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Where?" He's like right there. He's
That's
like,
not
"I
a
was."
good answer.
He was like, he was like, "I was on the other side of the fucking stop sign." I was like, "Oh shit!" But like, he starts talking to Hero. Then he's like, "So what do you guys?" He goes like, "You guys coming from something?" And Hero's like, "Oh yeah, like a wrestling show. Like we all wrestle." He goes, "Oh really?" And then like they start talking. And the ref and the cops like, "Oh yeah, like I was a big Japanese wrestling fan."
Oh.
He's like, "I used to wrestle in Japan all the time." He goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I got a poster." And like he pulls out this poster and he's like showing it to him. And he goes, "Yeah, you can have this." And then he's just like, "All right, you guys can go." I'm like, "Well, we're right here." And then
Wait,
of course,
Chris Hero bribed a
no, he
cop
did
with a
not bribe a
poster?
cop. No, 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 no. That's not what happened. The guy was letting us go. He already
Okay,
let us
so there
go.
wasn't a quid pro
It was not a
quo.
quid. I want to make sure this is known right now. It was not a quid pro quo. The guy let us go, and because he was like,
Bergman, what are the what's the legalities
he's like,
here?
"Listen," he goes, "I understand it's late. There's nobody on the road. It's dark." He goes, "All things considered, it was safe." He goes, "Just make sure you're paying attention. Be more careful." I was like, "Thank you, sir." Then like him and Hero kept talking a little bit. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "Hang on, I actually want to like give you something." And he pulled out the poster. He goes, "Yeah."
Okay,
He goes, "You
okay.
can." And then of course, like I look up, and then there's fucking like Cheech, Colin Delaney, and a bunch of other guys just like pointing and like laughing at us.
Yes, Blakely did get me out of a ticket, sort of,
Sort of.
one time.
Oh yeah.
We were she was living in Fulton at the
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
and I was going to see her. This is when we were first dating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got her own car, and I've got my own car, and I'm following her to her. And it's a new place. I think I've only been there once before,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. She gets on the highway. She's doing 95.
Oh Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, what? She's in her Buick Century
Mm-hmm.
doing fucking 95 in her grandma car. And I'm over here with a turbocharged ending being like, this is too fast. Like, what are you doing? Like, but I don't know where I'm going.
Right.
Right. So I'm trying to keep up. And I see her fucking whiz past a cop. And I'm like, fuck me. Cause
Mm-hmm.
like, it's always car number 2
It's always car number 2.
that gets pulled over, right?
Yep. Yep.
And sure as shit, he pulls me over and he goes, "Do you know how fast you're going?" I was like, "Yeah, I know how fast I was going, but like,
Yeah,
yeah,
41.
yeah, in 481.
41.
Yeah." I go, "Yeah, but like, I was like, I know how fast I was going. I was following my girlfriend to her house and I don't know where I'm going. So I was just trying to keep up with her,"
Mm-hmm.
was what I told him. And he looks down the road and he looks at me. He goes, "Just keep it under 80, would you?"
Fucking
He's
A.
like, "This poor kid's just trying to get laid. Like,
He's just trying to have a
he's
night.
just trying to have a night."
Yeah.
And like, I get it.
Yeah.
The Chris
Anyways.
Hero and Blakely get John tickets.
Fucking A.
Open up a law firm.
All right, so wrestling feud. So we got Michaels and Hart.
Right.
I'm gonna go through some of these right now, and like let me know what they mean to you, because I did a little prompt type of thing in, try to pull up like just like 50 feuds in the history of pro
Oh,
wrestling.
okay.
Okay, so like even going back to like the territory days. Let's start there. You got Flair and Dusty Rhodes.
Good old Flair and Dusty.
I would say like quintessential. Like if you want to learn about like the territories and just like like the fucking prime NWA, you gotta go Flair Dusty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then also you got your Terry Funk, Ric Flair, those like late 80s, early 90s WCW.
What would you prefer, a Dusty Flair or a Terry Flair?
Dusty Flair.
You're Dusty Flair guy?
Dusty Flair guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
see,
I
I'm
mean
a
like
Terry
Terry Flair. I mean, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like you really, I don't know, like Dusty, sort of the dynamic of the two, you know, because like Terry Funk came off as more like, you know, I mean, he was like the hardcore, even before hardcore, as they would say,
Sure.
like, you know,
He's a
hardcore.
wild man.
He was the wild man, you know,
Yeah.
like the guy that and literally will put a bag over your head and try to choke you out in the middle
That's
of the
right.
ring.
Put a
You know,
spike in your eye.
but before it was cool, put a spike in your eye. But
Yeah.
like to me, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, because you literally had like the common man, the everyday man,
Right.
you know, the guy who's going to work the line in the factory, you know, go to the bar and have a beer with the friends and then come home and support the family versus like Ric Flair that's just going to like go out drinking with everybody, buy everybody beer, and then leave somebody else with the tab, you know, styling and profiling.
Okay, this is a great question.
Okay.
Do you prefer heel Ric Flair or babyface Ric Flair?
Heel.
Mm.
Do you prefer babyface Ric Flair?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I know he is not great.
No, he's not great.
He's not great. But I want to like Ric Flair.
I mean,
you want to like Ric Flair.
You want to like Hogan, but you know you can't anymore.
See, it is like okay, this is a great question. Who do you like more? Hogan
Flair
or Flair?
Hogan?
Yeah.
Next question. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. Okay, well, regarding Flair, I'll say this.
Sure.
Like 80s Flair heel work, tremendous. Early mid 90s babyface Flair. I think that's
yeah.
I prefer that as well because like you had Ric Flair who was, you know, the champion of sort of championing the name of WCW.
Right.
You know, against like the NWO and all these new hooligans running around. You know, I think when it was sort of, you know, the horsemen that were, you know, the fan favorites, I think that's still a great version of Ric Flair.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Dusty Flair, you got Funk Flair. I actually kind of keep it along the lines of, you know, like your WCW, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio.
Ooh. That match.
Halloween Havoc.
Goddamn. Like, has anyone been in a situation where like they were given an opportunity and they didn't just like fucking score a touchdown? They hit a grand slam or hat trick. I don't what's this,
dude?
The goalie kick. I don't know what the fuck.
They got the hat trick, they got the touchdown, they got the grand slam, they got the triple double.
With cheese.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, that fucking good. I think for Malenko Mysterio is Bert would say Malenko Mysterio.
You know, I kind of have to agree. See,
I would say Rey Guerrero because of how long that feud.
Well, if you're combining WCW and WWE when they had when you know they had the ladder match for future Hall of Famer Dominic Mysterio.
If we're talking straight WCW,
it's Malenko. It's Malenko.
Do you go Malenko Mysterio or Malenko Jericho?
Oh, Mysterio.
Okay. I was gonna say like those are two very different feuds as well. Because like one is very much. I mean, like I think on the level of in-ring performance, like they both work.
Oh, totally.
I think Malenko Mysterio edges it out a little bit, but I think like the comedic timing and the sort of involvement, like how involved that feud was, like you kind of add in different angles, you kind of add in different players, like made Jericho Malenko more intriguing in a way, like beyond just the action that was happening in the ring.
Right.
Okay. God, like what are some other like Bergman? I know you were a WCW guy back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're talking like top tier WCW feuds.
Ooh. Well, I mean, without mentioning a certain someone, like let's not
Without
let's not get with anyone with a B involved.
Well, I don't think
In
he
their
was
name.
really. I mean, honestly, there aren't any feuds that really stand out.
Not even
WC
with King Booker.
Oh, like the best of 7?
Yeah. That'd probably be that
To me, though,
Sullivan, R.I.P. You know.
that honestly, I wouldn't even put those in the top 10.
Okay, wow.
Not even
Wow.
top 10. Bergman says Jericho feud is built to one thing, the sickle blade thing. Malenko Mysterio was back and forth and mind blowing for the time. DDP Savage.
Okay.
Okay.
DDP versus the NWO is a
DDP
feud.
versus the NWO is something that I feel a lot of people sort of overlook.
Well, they overlook it because everybody wanted it to be NWO and Sting. And everybody was kind of disappointed with Sting. So like after that, like you're like you going with Lex? Like no, we're gonna go with DDP.
I think DDP. I'm gonna make a bold statement, and you're welcome to disagree with me or not.
Whoever charges for his yoga.
You know what though? It works.
I mean, yoga works. He's
Yeah.
just a gimmick.
Well, I mean, everything's a gimmick, brother.
Sure.
He just packages it really well, and I'm all about the branding.
Yeah, I mean, you are all about.
I'm all about.
I still have Mountain Dews to prove it.
I mean, hey, you buy what's on the label. Bold statement, if I may. Again, feel free to agree with me or disagree with me. DDP was the Dusty Rhodes of the mid 90s.
Ooh.
Not like on the level of Dusty Rhodes, but like the same sort of aura, like the man of the people.
Okay.
Being one with the crowd.
I would give you from like 97. I don't think because like 95, 96, he was still
doing kind of like
doing the heel diamond stud
feuding with the booty man.
Yeah.
Like,
but like 97 on,
yeah,
I'd give it to you.
I would say like 97
That's an
up
interesting
until
comparison.
Yeah, like up until he like shaved his head and
Sure.
the movie and was like Hollywood DDP.
Yeah.
I feel like that, honestly, I feel like DDP should have been babyface the entire time.
Yeah, and it's interesting because just recently I went back and watched that King of the Ring where he debuted to have an interaction with the Undertaker with the stalking Sarah thing and all that. Like that was such garbage,
dude.
It was horrible.
Fucking like I don't. You know what though? DDP was great for WCW.
Oh, totally.
As much as the WWE kind of fumbled him, I don't know that the DDP of WCW would have worked in WWE.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it would have worked. And I think they had to do something different. However, I think that they could have given him some better angles or some better stories. I think putting him with the Undertaker right away, huge mistake.
Oh, huge mistake. Yeah.
He honestly, he should have been a guy who just ran out, hit the diamond. He should have done what Canyon was doing. Just run out, hit people with the diamond cutter, and then just run through the crowd.
Well, that was Lance Storm's gimmick for a while. You pop in, you get a super kick, you get the fuck out.
And then roll out, yeah.
Bergman says, Sid and Goldberg.
Sid and Goldberg, more fun than people remember. I mean...
Well, when on paper, that does not seem like a fun feud.
No, on paper, that seems like a great feud.
It seems like I would love the promos. But in the ring, once the bell rings, at that Goldberg's too green, and Sid just doesn't care enough. So like,
you know what, though? I see, but that's the thing is you have to. I feel like the reason why some of the feuds are the greatest feuds is because they worked to the performer's strengths.
Mm.
You know, like Hogan and Andre weren't going out there putting on 5-star classics.
No.
They were going out there and putting on spectacles.
Sure.
You know, you're working to a body slam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a lot of clubs, a lot of chin locks, work to that one move, and then you're done. I feel like Sid and Goldberg, like, yeah, I mean, I would put like up in like that late period WCW. I would say that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
The shit Sid was doing.
Sid,
Just
can we talk about
insane.
how awesome Sid was?
Sid fucking ruled, man.
Sid was awesome.
Sid was awesome.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Sid. Like, you go back and you watch the fucking people, man.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes out at Survivor Series and just the fucking fist bumps, like he's bumping people just like with his fist, like the
All the
entrance.
bumps.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm like, not a goddamn thing has happened yet.
No, and he's got
I'm
pyro with those letters.
Oh my God, dude, the presentation of him. And the best part about Sid, he didn't give a well, like I feel like Sid cared. I feel like Sid cared more than people give him credit for, but
sure.
I think Sid knew what he wanted.
Money.
Yeah. Which, guess what, folks? At the end of the day,
just makes the world go round.
Makes the world go around.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with getting paid. All right. I think Sid knew what he wanted, and he worked to what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's a lot more wrestlers that have done that over the years that you probably don't want to admit to, but it's kind of the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Dungeon of Doom versus the Horsemen.
Well, how do you feel about the Dungeon of Doom? Where are you at on the Dungeon of Doom?
I've seen so much of it, and it still feels like a fever dream. Like it just,
it's wacky.
It's wacky. It's wacky. So weird.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's like I just look at it and like this shit's like, how did this get over? Like was this over? I'm so confused.
It was one of those things of like, I always felt like the Dungeon of Doom was over because they wanted it to be, and nobody would, like, you didn't have a choice. You didn't have a choice.
That's what you had. It was kind of like you had no other choice other than the Dungeon of Doom versus the Hulkamaniacs, or the Dungeon of Doom versus the Horsemen. So that's kind of like what it was.
Bergman also says Steiner versus everybody.
One Booker. The fact that they gave Scott Steiner the runway he did, or the runway he had, for better or worse, he made some chicken salad.
I mean, he is a treasure.
He is a treasure.
He's a treasure.
Yeah.
You know,
man, I've been kind of reading up and kind of going back and listening to and watching some like late 90s, early 2000s WCW. And you can just tell, like, nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody cared.
Nobody, like nobody on top was giving a shit. Hall and Nash were doing things just to pop themselves.
Sure.
And getting away with it. Russo was fucking just chaos. It was crazy.
What a time.
What a time to be alive. All right, so we're going to keep working through this. Obviously, we got, some of the newer ones today. You got CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, which I think is top tier.
Do you think it's an all-timer?
Do I think it's an all-timer? It depends on what the criteria is for an all-timer. I think of 2024.
Okay.
I would even say this. Of the last, we'll go since 2020.
Okay.
Of the last 4 years, one of the best. Top 10, if not top 5.
Okay. I don't know that I put it in the top 5, but top 10.
That's reasonable. I say top 10. I think it is the best Drew McIntyre feud
we've ever had.
And honestly,
he's having fun.
He's having a great time.
He's having so much fun, and it shows.
I think this is the best Drew McIntyre has ever been. I think it is. Totally. I think when people look back on his career, this will be like the highlight.
Yeah, I think so.
For CM Punk, I think this is better than his entire AEW run,
Oh yeah, without question,
without question.
because he's not in charge.
He's not well, I mean, yeah, but I think his presentation is better.
Sure, it's
I
all out of his
think
hands.
I think the story is better.
Yeah, you didn't write it.
Yeah. I mean,
Just saying.
yeah,
Did you read that
you know?
Marvel comic? It's dog shit.
I mean, I never read it, so I can't say. But I think right now and everything that's going on, top 5 easily. Maybe top 3.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you've also got Cody Rhodes and the fucking Bloodline.
Yep. I mean that will be an all timer.
That will be an all-timer. I think I feel like people are starting to get gassed out on that a little bit.
Well, it needs to switch. Cody needs to go away.
Cody, yeah, and I feel like what they're going to try to do after Bad Blood is split it off.
Yeah,
at least by the end of the year. And like, here's the thing: like, a lot of people are kind of getting sour on Cody. I feel. I don't know if that's just like,
well, they're tired of him seeing the. You can only face the Bloodline so many times.
Yeah, and like, I don't think he's the issue.
No, he's not.
I mean, like, he's still going out there doing the performances he needs to do. He's still getting the pops. He's still doing great work. I think they need to throw in a new dynamic, but I think that they're starting to do that with Roman. I don't know if you saw my post on Twitter the other day. Like, man, they fucking did this shit on Friday night where they were like, it's going to be you and Roman versus the Bloodline. And he was like, no. And I was like, that's a man who's well studied. That's a man who watched Flair and Sting go up against the Horsemen. He knows what's going to happen. And then what did he do? At the end of the night, he signed that fucking contract for that match. And I'm just like, Cody, no. Cody, he's going to turn on you. At the very least, he's going to catch a spear by the end of the night.
Oh, yeah. At the very least.
But that is going to eventually build to Roman versus the Bloodline versus The Rock. Like, that is where that's going to go. And then maybe that comes back around to Cody, which is fine. But the thing they need to do now is they need to give Cody another heater to go up against. And I don't know if they've been building one.
Oh, they don't need to. They're just waiting.
What are they waiting for?
They're waiting for the contract to expire for the natural
Dustin Rhodes
and the Wyatt Six to come out to face Cody.
I mean, that dude's got like 4 belts in AEW right now.
Well, yeah, they're trying to keep him.
They're trying to keep him. They're like, please. Yo, if he loses like all of those belts by the end of the month, you know it's happening.
Oh, you know it's happening. Yep.
All right. What else? Okay, so speaking of AEW and current feuds right now,
sure.
Have you followed like any of the Hangman Page Swerve Strickland stuff?
I've seen. I mean, I haven't watched any of the matches. You know, I get my updates online
passively.
Like passively. I don't watch anything.
Yeah,
but I know what's going on. I know they had a really gross match.
They had a very gross match.
Which the needle thing.
Listen, I talked a little bit about this a week or two ago when I did a kind of solo stream. Like, people, the violence was very divisive. I feel, a lot of people saying like, this is awful. This shouldn't be, you know, what they're doing. A lot of people were like, yeah, violent. And so, you know, like even Swerve Strickland was like, it was billed as an unsanctioned match. What did you expect? At the end of the day, like me I'm sure you too, having watched wrestling as long as we have, like, was anything necessarily outside of stuff that we've seen before? Maybe not a lot of. The needle spot, I'm like, why? The needle spot to me read as like, dude, like that's some like shindy level bullshit. Like,
the thing is, it didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. I didn't understand it, and I don't know why. As
a man who has used everything that they've ever used in that match in a match at one point in my career, I've used center block, all that shit. Never used a needle. It's the only one.
You've hung a man.
I've hung a man. I've done some things.
You've done some things.
You know,
you've taken a bag over the head.
Yeah, I've done that spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I get all of it. I get all of it. The only thing I don't get is the needle. The needle doesn't help you win.
And it was one of the so my issue with the show overall,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the violence, yes, it was too much, but not because of the stuff that they were doing, because I don't think it was necessary.
Mm.
I'm looking at it from a necessity standpoint. Like, did they cross a line? No, I don't really think so.
Mm-mm.
But honestly, if I'm booking it, I'm not going to do a plastic bag spot right before an unsanctioned cage match. I'm also not going to do a fucking needle spot to the mouth when I'm about to destroy this dude in the head with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't need to do as much stuff, because I feel like with the amount of stuff that they did, your mind's kind of going like, oh, well, geez, like what the fuck am I seeing? Like you start to kind of lose focus.
You know what that is, though, right?
Overbooking.
No.
No?
I figured this out the other day.
Oh shit.
Tony Khan
Mm-hmm.
books wrestling for a different audience.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He books wrestling for like my 10-year-old son. He books wrestling for the YouTube generation.
Yes.
For we do not have time to build. We do not have time. We don't need time to build.
Mm-mm.
We just want to see cool shit, and we want to see cool shit now.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They're about to get a fucking major ass TV deal out of it. But also, it's not for me.
It's not for me. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things in wrestling aren't for me. I actually brought up that point, and like a lot of people, I think, well, like a couple people got hot at me, I feel, when I was saying, like, just the concept of in wrestling, like, slow it down, tell the story, you're going to get your payoff. And a couple people were like, AEW has had storylines going on for over a year. And like, that's fine. But so much of it in general is rush, rush, rush,
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like, they're looking for the clips. They're looking for the trends. They're looking to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the thing you want to do, hey, that's all up to you. But I feel like that is also a great way to burn out your audience.
Maybe, but also if your audience is used to that, they don't have the attention span for long-term storytelling.
I guess there's also
so it's not a right or wrong thing. I mean, especially when you're getting paid, like,
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're getting paid,
that's the only right or wrong.
Yeah, I'm happy everybody's getting paid.
I'm happy everyone's getting paid.
Yeah,
but don't expect, to get something unique like a well-crafted, twist and turn storyline for 6 months from AEW. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, like, a lot of what they're doing now, I think, is, and again, this is one man's point of view. It could be a biased perspective, call it what you will. But I feel like their way of having to draw in the audience is having to do things bigger and bigger and bigger, as opposed to simply building and just creating a spectacle on a level where you don't need to do as much. Because again, less is more. That's what I always say. And believe me, you're going to get so much more out of your audience when you just give them a little bit less. I promise you that.
Build to something.
And everybody right now is saying, like, the Swerve and Hangman feud is like generational, which, I mean, I don't know. It could be.
It could be. The thing is, like, they started off with gimmick matches. Like they didn't have, they didn't wrestle 20 times and then, Hangman got beat every 20 times. So then they went to the steel cage. Like that should, like, they started off.
It started off hot. And then I think it was Fenton was telling me, like, one of the things Swerve did to really, like, kick off the feud was, like, break into Paige's home and, like, just, like, stand over his newborn child's crib. I'm just like, God damn,
that's good shit.
Like that's good shit. And then like, you know, I mean, and then you had Paige going to Swerve Strickland's childhood home and then burning it the fuck down.
That's good shit.
So I'm like, God damn, that's good shit. You want to know what though? It's good shit, but it ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why it ain't shit.
Why?
Like, it don't impress me. You want to know a feud that is more brutal and more hostile than Paige and Swerve?
Okay.
Tori Wilson, Dawn Marie.
Ooh. Okay.
Dawn Marie lost a bikini contest. And you know what she did?
What did she do?
She said, fuck her. I'm going to go marry her dad and bang him so much that he's going to have a heart attack and die. Okay?
That happened.
So don't give me this whole, he burned down his house.
Did he fuck your dad?
Did he fuck your dad to death? Because you want heat? That's heat, okay? She killed Al Wilson. On TV. She recorded it in the shower. Fucked him 5 times. Man was old. That's how you get heat, okay?
It's really...
You marry your opponent's dad, okay? And then
fuck him to death.
Fucking got married in his tighty whities.
2000s were weird.
2000s were fucking wild, man. Don't be giving me this hypodermic needle to the mouth.
Go fuck his dad.
Wait, shit. You're fucking his dad. And he dies. And then you beat her up at the funeral. That's fucking heat, man.
It's real heat.
That's heat. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell are we doing? What do we want to talk about? I don't know. Like, we keep going.
No, we're over time already. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, man. We're good. We're good. Feuds, go enjoy them. Look some shit up, man.
Fucking
There's so much good stuff out there for y'all to watch.
Yeah, go get yourself a goddamn t-shirt.
Go get a t-shirt.
God.
Like,
fuck.
Share, subscribe to this channel. Because, folks, listen, we're picking back up.
That's right.
Team is rolling. Q4. It's gonna be the big one. Tell your friends. Tell them to like and share.
We're getting into all sorts of spooky seasons. We're getting into holiday seasons.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. Go get yourself prepared for the holiday season. Go watch Sleigh Full of Wishes back in the catalog. Get yourself ready.
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Just do the thing.
Yeah. Help us out, man.
Help us out, man.
Just need one.
Your part. Just all we need is one, man. One for a miracle.
That's it. That's it. All right. Well, for this week, I've been Jason X.
I'm Kevin Graham.
And this has been your show.
Peace.